Today, people want money. They don't look for learning. And pardon me if I am saying, at least 60% of the young HR professionals change their jobs very frequently. For money, I've interviewed a lot of people in the recent past. I find their knowledge base is very poor. I'm not very happy about it.
Hi, I'm Ramesh Ranjan, the co-founder of Global HR Community. The Global HR Community, or GHRC as it's popularly known, is a global platform that is built on a digitally enabled AI platform that brings together people managers, business leaders, HR professionals, academicians, entrepreneurs, and students to promote excellence through people in individuals, organizations, and the community at large. Through our guiding principles of connect, learn, and grow.
Very good.
As part of a GHRC talk show, we are proud to present the HR Guru series, a platform dedicated to honoring the pioneers who shaped the HR profession worldwide. For over 5 decades, this distinguished HR leader has been a guiding force in shaping the profession. Though rooted in the old school of HR, his approach has always been forward thinking, embracing modernization long before it became a mainstream. He was among the first to envision the potential of EHR, conceiving the idea as early as 2001 and championing the first ever EHR conference. His contributions extend beyond organizations. He has played a pivotal role in reviving and lending credibility to the professional HR bodies like NHRD and NIPM and ensuring their continued relevance in the evolving landscape. A true mentor at heart, he has nurtured and shaped future leaders, generously passing on his wisdom and experience even after retirement. A soft spoken yet bold thinker, he speaks his mind without hesitation, unafraid to take on any challenge with conviction and clarity. Who is this remarkable leader? It's none other than Dr. D.R. Nagaraj, a visionary whose impact on HR continues to inspire generations. In this exclusive conversation, we delve into his journey, insights, and the legacy he continues to build. Let's know a little bit of DR, as he is popularly called. He started his career with MICO, currently known as Bosch India. His illustrious career at Motor Industries Corporation Limited, known as Bosch India, was instrumental in shaping his professional ethos, where he imbibed the systematic working, excellence, and discipline in the field of HR. He served as the president of the Bangalore chapter of the National NHRD network, contributing significantly to the organization's growth and influence in the HR community. He has held the position of the national president of the NIPM, becoming one of the youngest individuals to assume this role at that particular time. Under his leadership, Dr. Nagaraj organized over 10 national and regional HR conferences, including the first ever EHR conference during his presidency at the National HRD Network Bangalore chapter, and I had the privilege of being a secretary under his leadership. He has presented papers at esteemed conferences in Tokyo, Jakarta, Malaysia, Middle East, showcasing Indian HR practices on a global platform. Dr. Nagaraj extended his expertise internationally by offering training programs and handling HR projects across countries such as Kuwait, Dubai, Muscat, Thailand, and Sri Lanka. He has authored and co authored 3 books on HR, contributing to the academic and practical understanding of human resource management. Dr. Nagaraj's enduring contributions have left a significant impact on HR practices in India, inspiring many in the field through his leadership and dedication to the field of HR. Join us in this inspiring conversation as we uncover the legacy of Dr. D.R. Nagaraj and his timeless wisdom for HR professionals navigating the future of work. DR, thank you for taking your time off
My pleasure.
and being here on our show. And it's a privilege and honor to be having this interview with you.
Thank you, Ranjan. About the new venture in which you are involved, I see a lot of activities taking place, both in India as well as outside. I am very, very happy that you are taking new steps to build a different kind of HR which is acceptable globally. Today, we have a lot of differences in HR practices in India. Even within India itself, you see a lot of differences, and outside also. It's also true with management practices. So, therefore, I'm very happy that you are trying to build a new organization in which there is a best contribution to the industries, corporates, to have a new kind of HR systems and also management systems. I'm very happy about it. Also, I'm very happy to answer any of your questions which you feel are relevant for our discussion.
Thank you, DR. Uh, let's start with your journey in HR and your early beginnings in your career. Your illustrious career began with MICO,
Correct.
now known as Bosch India, where you imbibed the principles of systematic working, excellence, and discipline. This foundation played a significant role in shaping your leadership style and philosophy in people management. My question to you, Nagaraj, can you share your journey at MICO and how your early experiences there influenced your approach to HR and leadership? What lessons from your time at MICO do you think are most relevant for the HR professionals of today?
I had the fortune of having two wonderful bosses under whom I worked. One was Mr. V. N. Gopinath, another was Mr. M. V. A. Raja. Both of them were quite enthusiastic in training youngsters. Some of the incidents which I can share with you here will be of quite interest. So I was in charge of recruitment in MICO. We used to, particularly apprentices and all, for 20 apprentices, we used to get about 20,000 applications and screen down through tests and medical examinations and all. We bring them to 40. It is very, very tough job. It's not a very easy job. In the process of my growth, Mr. Gopinath has played a very wonderful role. I was preparing appointment letters and sending for his signature because he was the employer's signature he used to have. And every time I send, it will be returned with a lot of red marks, which means that all those things you have not seen properly. Either it is a date or amount of money or the address, so all these kinds of things. It was very interesting to learn. 3, 4 times the appointment letter will come back, and then finally it will be signed. And during the discussions, he used to tell Mr. Nagaraj, you are a growing young person. Small things you must look into. It's very, very, very important. We wanted to print new applications for MICO, for employment. So in those days, WQ Jet Press were the major suppliers for us. So we had given them the printing, and they sent us about 5,000 applications. Mr. Gopinath looked at it and threw it. He said, the logo is not of the color which we require. Slight shade is missing. Throw it and get him new applications. So, in every aspect, I learned how to focus, and minor issues you must look into it. That was a great experience as far as I am concerned.
What we call as eye for detail, I think, right? Which is something
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
today a lot of youngsters don't focus upon it. And I think I come from the same school. I had leaders who had also taught us how to staple, how the staple should,
Correct,
where it should
correct,
be stapled.
correct, correct.
So much of micro detailing and details
Absolutely.
was something. So now let's talk about the leadership in the professional HR bodies that you've had over the years. You have held pivotal leadership roles in esteemed HR organizations, including being the president of the NIPM and also president of the Bangalore chapter of National HRD Network. Under your leadership, these organizations organize groundbreaking conferences and initiatives as the National Conference in NIPM and then the EHR Conference and the National Conference under NHRD. My question to you is, what was your vision as a leader of these professional bodies, and how did you steer these activities to advance the profession of HR in India? What do you believe are the current challenges and opportunities for professional bodies like NIPM and HRD in today's rapidly changing business environment?
Yeah. Very interesting question. See, I've seen different stages of growth of HR last 5 decades. I joined the profession when the focus was more on labor management and the management of trade unions, collective bargaining, strikes, lockouts, and all. Now, they were not cup of tea for me. For me, I was looking at positive personal management, encouraging employees, give them training, make them better employees for the organization and all. Whereas the managements in those days were particular in giving them less and overtime do and holiday working without paying much and all those things. I was not very keen in those kinds of areas. My focus was more on positive HR. So by around 80s and 90s, you must have also felt that the situation changed. New management started coming, maybe children of the employers and all. They were educated abroad. They came with new ideas and they were little more liberal in their concept. They used to accept the ideas which we gave them. And that is when I became the president of NIPM. And my idea was to see that through various conferences and meetings and all, I imbibed the spirit in the HR professionals in different parts of the country. And to some extent, I have been successful. Like, for example, in Bombay, in Pune, in Chandigarh, in Nasik, in Chennai, Bangalore. This had some effect, but it had less effect in places like Calcutta and all because it was more labor oriented places, all those were. So therefore, when I took over as NIPM, my focus was more to see that HR professionals become more people oriented than law oriented or organization slaves. They are professionals. They must have the feeling that employees are very important. They're all human beings. Give them what they want and get them what you want. But that was not the feeling. So we had to imbibe those feelings. It was a great challenge. But the 2 years I spent, I was the first president to tour all the chapters in my period. No president had gone. I was the first person to see that I make our employees in the NIPM national office as human beings. Whenever I go there, I used to have a meeting with them, talk with them, have coffee and tea with them, ask them what their problems are, and try to solve as much as possible. In the history of NIPM, I was the only president. Till now, nobody has spoken to the staff. Very sorry to say that. Very sad feeling also. So that way I made a lot of difference to NIPM chapters and NIPM office and all. I spent through my money, my time to see that NIPM becomes a more recognized professional body. I'm very happy that I've been able to contribute to some extent to the growth of these institutions. Now, if you talk of NHRD, there was a gap when I became president of NIPM, it was around 90s. When I became president of NHRD chapter, it was in 20s. See, in 90s, the computers became very important,
Right.
software and computers. And I was amazed and I was little difficult for me to understand some of the languages which the new HR people were talking. When I went to NIPM conference, NHRD conference in Hyderabad, I saw young girls and boys of 20 years having two mobile phones in their hands, which we were not used to at all. We were used to only table phones. I was wondering what is happening. Then slowly I started learning computers by my own. I requested a friend of mine in Delhi who is producing computers to send me one. To get a computer was not easy. So he helped me, got a computer, we learned on our own. Slowly from 91, by 96, we were able to reach some level in computer using and software and all. Now, when I see this in the industry, I found many HR people who are blind. They are not used to computers and all those things. And by that time, computers had made some inroads into HR. That is why you and I started the EHR
EHR
conference. I was very happy and surprised. We had 400 participants for that seminar and we had 20 stalls in that, first time in the history of NHRD. And that made a lot of changes. Slowly HR professionals started learning about computers and how the computers can be made use of in HR and other places. It was a very thrilling experience for you and for me also.
Absolutely, dear. It was one of our most memorable experiences in my lifetime when we had that conference on EHR. Something which I think one of the first EHR conferences in the country.
In the country, correct.
And I really liked when you talked about positive HR and negative HR, something which is unique about you, dear. Now, dear, you have represented Indian HR practices on global platforms, presenting papers in Tokyo, Jakarta, Malaysia, conducting training programs in countries like Kuwait, Dubai, and Sri Lanka. My question to you is how did your international exposure shape your understanding of HR, and what insights did you bring back to enhance the HR practices in India? How can Indian HR professionals and organizations better position themselves on the global scale in the current era of globalization?
It's a very tough question, Ranjan, because I find there is a lot of difference in HR approaches, practices in India and in the other countries.
Right.
If you take Singapore, for example, they're far advanced. Their way of thinking and their HR professionals are more business oriented. They can understand the business, profit and loss of the company, the progress of the company, and all. Whereas if you look at Indian HR professionals, they have absolutely not much of idea, except perhaps at the CHRO level.
Right.
But at the down the level, nobody understands profit. They have no idea of finance at all, many a times I find. And they are more law oriented, legal. Factories Act, Industrial Disputes Act, Standing Orders Act. Keeping in pace with those legislations becomes a critical job for the HR professionals in India. But I find, each country has its own differences.
Right.
For example, if you go to Singapore, I told you, if you go to Indonesia, if you go to Thailand and all, there every employee is trained perfectly in his job and they do that job and go away. So there is not much of HR requirement there, except perhaps for recruitment or salary and all those things. That oriented. If you come to Middle East, the focus is more on recruitment here, not much on except multinational companies. They focus on HR practices, and they are very advanced HR. In fact, you can see in Middle East there is too much of difference. Local companies only focus on salary and recruitment, whereas international companies focus on a very high level, quality oriented HR practices.
Right.
So it was a very beautiful experience I had in interacting with HR professionals in all these countries and also contributing. To some extent, I have contributed in Muscat, Kuwait, Dubai. On all these places, I had a lot of work I have done. They have contributed. In fact, I had the wonderful opportunity. There is a company called Global Village in Dubai. The king had an aspiration that he wanted to bring the whole world to that place. 7 continents he wanted to build. There, he wanted to bring the best of the brains from all over the world to work there. So they had one chief of operations who had come there. He wanted 150 role plays to be prepared for each job. Very senior jobs, very, very senior jobs, and which we had no idea at all. For example, electrician for 7 continents to handle that manager, and different kinds of managers. Very tough because we had no idea of these jobs at all. So what we had to do, we had to go and contact the ships where they have the entertainment programs and all in their ships and all. There they had the best of the people. So we had to ask them what their roles are, how they play and all. Then bring clarity into these things. It was a 2 months job we did for about 150 very senior managers. I got a wonderful experience in doing that. Unforgettable experience it is for Global Village in Dubai.
Great, dear. I agree with you that one size cannot fit all. So,
Yeah.
not necessarily all the international practices can be adapted to
No,
India.
no, no.
But I'm sure that there are certain areas where we could pick up some good practices and replicate it in this part of the world. Dear, your leadership is defined by selflessness, compassion, meticulous planning, which you called eye for detail, exceptional human relation skills. These qualities have earned you recognition as a compassionate and a visionary leader, both on the professional front and also on the social front. My question to you is, what core principles guide your philosophy of leadership, and how have these principles helped you achieve success across different roles? How can HR leaders today balance empathy and results driven leadership to meet organizational goals while fostering a positive workplace culture?
Ranjan, one thing is very clear. When you occupy a position, you must have a very clear focus and a very clear plan what you want to achieve. If you don't have that, if you put your hands on too many things and try to do too many things, you may not be able to fulfill those tasks. So when I took over NHRD, let me tell you, I had a plan to see that it was, as you know, when we took over
Negative
NHRD,
balance.
it was underground. I mean, nobody knew NHRD is existing. So we had to bring it up and then take it to greater heights. So one principle we adopted was that we'll join with the best in Bangalore. Okay. So therefore, all our programs were held in Taj Hotel. We asked Times of India to be our co-partner. We wanted IIM Bangalore to be our co-partner.
Right.
Like this, we joined our hands with the best of the institutions in Bangalore. And when earlier, even to get 10 people was very difficult to each program. We were able to get 150, 200 people to our programs. And our membership increased 3, 4 times at our times because of the programs we conducted and all. Can you believe we were the only first team, nobody else has done later also, to take people to industries, show them what is happening there, the IR practices and all. I think it's one of the finest experiences. People tell me even now that what you did was very good. I wanted people to grow. My focus is always we should not be second class citizens. HR people should be first class citizens. They should be recognized and appreciated their work, etc. They should go beyond the self. Unless they do something beyond the self, they will not be able to grow. So my focus was to see that these people are helped from any angle it is possible within our limitations to see that they become better professionals. That is how I encourage a lot of youngsters to associate with us and do whatever they want they can do so that we can bring freshness in the thinking of the people, HR professionals. We did quite a lot of struggle, there is no doubt about it. It was not very easy. But once the people found that we are selfless people and all, and doing new things, people cooperated with us. A lot of money came. We had no problem in getting money, etc. Very, very lot of new things we have done at that time. You know about it. So very happy that I was able to bring NHRD to a certain level. And today it is flourishing. The foundation which we put today has helped them to grow now. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, dear. I still remember when I was inducted as the secretary of the Committee on Your Leadership, the situation that we were, where we could not even meet our daily expenses, and we left NHRD with surplus funds.
Yes.
And some very defining moments: our visit to Wipro campus, our visit to Toyota Industries, Infosys, were some very memorable events, and of course the HR conference and the various programs that we held. Dear, throughout your career, you emphasized the importance of continuous self development and training, both for yourself and for others who have been influenced by you. This belief is evident in the initiatives to conduct training programs globally. My question to you is, what role does training and continuous learning play in the success of HR professionals and organizations? With the rapid evolution of technology and skills, how can HR leaders stay relevant in this ever changing environment of today?
Ranjan, I have found lot of difference in approaches to training. When I went to Singapore Institute of Management, Singapore Institute of Personal Management and all, where they conduct every day, 365 days except Sundays, continuous 3-4 training programs a day, continuously, and managements and individuals are very keen to develop themselves. Very, very impressed with that. But if you come to India, managements are not willing to spend money for training for employees, union leaders, even supervisors, they are not willing. They used to send their senior managers to IIMs or Institute of Management and those kinds of institutions. It became difficult for me in the initial stages. But then, since most of the people in those days knew my name, they knew me, slowly I started influencing them to conduct programs for employees. It is important when they grow, your company will not have problems. Similarly, union leaders. When I conducted training programs to union leaders, some union leaders came crying at the end of the program to me, "Sir, we are all misled by external leaders saying that for everything you have to shout, everything you have to fight and all. Now we understand what is our role and all." So we brought a lot of positiveness in the thinking of managements, in the thinking of union leaders, in the thinking of employees. That is not asking money which is important. Allow the company to grow and the company will give us what we want. So that concept came in. I'm very happy that I've been able to contribute to about 35,000 people across the world in India also. So I'm very happy with my contribution in this. Of course, subsequently, a lot of new people have come and there is a lot of focus and even now on the laws, labor laws and Supreme Court decisions and industrial relations and those kinds of things. I mean, that is also part of the requirement, but my focus will be more on bringing positiveness in thinking of the management, in thinking of the employees, in thinking of the union leaders. That's how I've been successful. This I found only in Singapore, not in other places.
Great, Nagaraj. And I remember how NMS is synonymous with organizing various training programs. Dear, you have co-authored 3 books on HR, contributing to the academic and practical understanding of HR. These works have influenced many professionals in the field. My question to you is, what inspired you to venture into writing, and how do you see its role in shaping the HR profession? And what areas in HR do you believe require more research and focus to address the challenges of today?
See, when we started writing, there was a lot of interest in reading. people, because in those days there was no other media to grow and learn. So that is what made us to write books. We had some experiences, so we collaborated with Dr. Akhilesh, who is no more, and Shekhar, who was our committee member.
Right.
So we thought about it, and then we conducted programs, and then for young personnel managers and all separately, we brought out books for them. So the idea was to see that people should attend programs, at the same time they should start reading books as to what is happening in the world, how things are changing, etc. But now what has happened due to the internet availability, Google availability and all, reading habits have come down. There are a lot of new books are coming, but I feel I have read a couple of them. They are irrelevant to HR as a requirement. But some authors are very good, like Dave Ulrich, whom we have interviewed and all. They have contributed significantly for the growth of HR. There is no doubt about it. And unfortunately, he brings about at least one or two books every year. I see that.
Right.
TV Rao also. They're all very great professionals who put their thoughts and ideas and experiences in writing. I am also now planning, it is in the initial stages. Two books are going to come out in related to HR and all. Maybe next year it will be published.
Great, dear. And we're looking forward to the publication of your books. More importantly, your ideas, we would like to know more
Surely,
about it.
surely, surely.
Let's talk about your legacy as a leader in HR. Your career is marked by significant contributions from advancing HR practices to mentoring future leaders. You have inspired many through your selfless dedication and visionary approach, and I've been one of the beneficiaries of that.
Thank you.
My question to you, dear, is looking back on your journey, what do you consider your most significant contribution or the legacy in the HR profession? If you had one piece of advice to give to aspiring HR leaders, what it would be?
See, when we were all in HR profession, money was not the most important for us in our
Right.
life. Money was required, but if we are able to get into an organization who is with a good leader, we would have been very, very happy in those days. But today, people want money. They don't look for learning. And pardon me if I am saying, at least 60% of the young HR professionals change their jobs very frequently for money purpose. Learning has become little low. If you have interviewed some people, whom I have interviewed a lot of people in the recent past, I find their knowledge base is very poor. I am not very happy about it because they kupamanduk, they are not extending beyond the normal. Unless you extend yourself beyond the normal, you will not be able to grow. And you must see the world, what is happening, how the society is changing, how the people are changing, how the business is changing, how the management concepts are undergoing. Every 6 months, 1 year, you see a lot of new things are coming in the processes. I visited a company, can you believe, in Indonesia, close to Singapore. Uh, the company, three companies we visited, same company, three branches. Young lady like her, a Chinese girl, has converted the whole organization into computers. Transition, complete transition,
Automated the whole.
automation and total, I was very deeply impressed. You press a button, you get all the details, I mean, last 20 years details you get about an individual, about the profit and loss, about the fraud, anything you want, you get by press of a button. I was really amazed. So to see that, Batam industry, Snyder, I took people from here, 3, 4 batches of people I have taken from here to showcase them how the technology has made inroads. Unless you get these kinds of ideas, Ranjan, you will not be able to grow in the organizations. Organizations are also compromising on people because they are not able to get the best people, because best people don't like to waste their time. Either they go abroad and or they start their own organizations and try to do something. Organizations should also encourage a lot of creativity, in the HR professionals. HR professionals should go out of the way to learn and you know visit places, talk to people, meet people, and all. Then only they will grow. Today, I feel in India it is limited.
Right.
To some extent, my feeling is that.
So your advice, as I could understand, is that learning is more important than commercial terms at the bottom of the pyramid when one starts a career, and it's going to pay them in good stead and help them achieve their commercial objectives as they
Yes.
grow up. So, coming to the last question, DR, let's talk about the future of HR and the role of AI. With the increasing importance of technology, artificial intelligence, AI, data driven decision making, and employee experience, the HR landscape is undergoing a transformative shift. AI and now ChatGPT is going to play a crucial role in areas like talent acquisition, employee engagement, predictive analytics, and going to reshape the traditional HR processes.
Absolutely.
My question to you is, how do you foresee the future of HR evolve with the advent of AI and ChatGPT, and what role do HR bodies like NIPM and NHRD can play in helping HR professionals to adapt to these changes?
One is you need very, very intelligent people in future. Okay, it is you cannot get work done from ordinary people. Super intelligent boys and girls we need, because the kind of inroads technology is making is very amazing.
Right.
I last 10 years back itself I started talking about it, future of HR, because I found that people are not ready. HR people are not ready. Managers are, because they're tuned to their existing practices of working. They have no idea what is going to come, etc. So I knew when the Watson came from IBM, I realized that it is going to be very amazing changes which is going to happen in industry and all. So I have been talking about this from last 10 years. Some improvement is there, but I don't see that magnificent improvement which is required.
Right.
Is not there now, even in HR people and others. For them, the moment you talk about these kinds of things, they close their ears. It is not their cup of tea. Anything current, they'll be very happy. Anything future, they are not so much tuned. So this is one thing which NIPM and NHRD have to focus. They have to bring institutions and organizations and showcase them how they are able to develop and grow with the modern technology, AI and other things. People should understand the importance of this. Otherwise, even our educational institutions, they are also not focusing on these kinds of things, MBAs and all. I find that. So unless you try to do this data analysis, and then only you can see future growth of the HR profession. Unless you do that, the standard people you will get in the HR, they will continue to be there.
Right. I agree with you, Nagaraj, because I also believe that all the activities at the bottom end of the value chain is going to get automated or replaced with
Everything has to be.
bots, and people have to move up the value chain, what you
Yeah.
call as intelligence, right? So, to close this interview with Dr. Nagaraj, I would like to say that this insightful conversation with Dr. Nagaraj, a true HR guru, has provided us a rare glimpse into the evolution of HR through the lens of a leader who has not only witnessed change but also actively shaped it. From his early days at MICO to his pivotal role in revitalizing the professional bodies like NIPM and NHRD, pioneering EHR, and mentoring countless HR professionals, his journey is a testament to the power of visionary leadership, adaptability, and unwavering commitment to the profession. We extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. Nagaraj for sharing his time, experiences, and wisdom with us.
My pleasure.
As a true HR guru, he continues to inspire generations of HR professionals with his insights, mentorship, and thought leadership. We hope this conversation leaves our audience with valuable takeaways and renewed sense of purpose in shaping the future of HR. Dear, thank you very much. And any last words that you would like to
No,
share
no, I am
as we
very
conclude
happy
this?
about the concept which you are bringing. Unless the young HR professionals are shown these kinds of insights, the future of HR becomes a little bleak. Your effort is very good. I'm sure it will influence a lot of young HR professionals, and we see future going to be better and pleasant according to me. Thank you very much for the
Yeah.
opportunity you gave me.
Thank you, dear. It's my pleasure.
My pleasure.